All right, hang on one moment. Hi, everybody. Okay, let me just open up my screen completely. Oops, here we go. And thank you, everybody, so much for joining me today. Let me just get this all organized. Can you guys just give me a quick shout out to let me know if you could hear me? Oh, actually, I don't see my questions. Here we go. There we go. Okay, one sec. Let me just get that out here. All right, awesome. Okay, so I see Ricardo. Oh, there we go. Hang on. Can you guys just give me a quick shout out? Okay, awesome. I'm seeing that you guys are hearing me. Thank you so much. All right, so let's begin on this Saturday morning. This is very exciting. Okay, so I am Marina, the Trader Chick, and welcome to my summit, the Simplifying Day Trading course. Well, it's more of an explanation of how simplifying day trading can truly help you and the 4 steps that I have found really to help me find the highest probability trades. And please send me questions. I love to interact with you guys. And if you have any concerns, any struggles, I know that we've all gone through and probably are still going through struggles because day trading can be a very challenging and truly waking you up type of I like to call it a performance activity. So let me know any of these and I'd love to answer and find out more about you as well. So what we'll be covering today in the presentation, basically understanding market movement, indicators which I have found that have been the most helpful and have truly simplified my own day trading, how to identify a breakout trade that is one of my top favorite trades, and just so you kind of get an idea of how I go about finding my trades, and scalping, how it actually helps me become more of a profitable trader and more confident. So a lot of people don't really understand what scalping is, so I'm going to dive into that a teeny bit later on so you guys get a better idea of what that is. Oh, sorry. I don't know what just happened there. Okay, so who is Marina, the Trader Chick? I just want to give you a quick brief intro to who I am so you know who I am. So I am a refugee from USSR, back from the Soviet Union. I came to the United States when I was 6 years old. I am a very big travel enthusiast, and about 18 years ago, I took off. I want to say a gap year, but it was probably more. It was probably a couple of years, just backpacking. My original idea was to travel the world. Instead, I kind of just headed south from New York and ended up in Guatemala, and I met my husband in Guatemala 18 years ago. I did continue and checked out almost all of Latin America. I could say that maybe only 3 or 4 countries are left for me to visit, but I never made it to the other part of the world other than Europe, but that was from before. So I now am an expat living in Antigua, Guatemala. I am trilingual. I speak English, Spanish, and Russian fluently. And this is my family. And before I actually got into trading, I actually always was into trading and the financial markets, but before I became a full-time day trader and now an educator, I was a fitness instructor and a travel writer. I also run a pretty fun travel site called Travel Experta, and I was doing that before, and that's kind of my travel lifestyle. So I was really looking to find the best way for me to continue that with trading, day trading, and that's kind of how I came up on futures, because futures allows you to only trade 1 or 2 hours per day and not much sitting around and truly going crazy with the research as you would do for stocks. But anyway, so this is a quick little synopsis of who I am. And now I am a full-time trader, even though I still travel consistently and continuously with my family. So let's get to the core and the meat of this presentation today. So I want to talk about getting back to the basics and building your trading foundation. One of the main things that I had as a trader as a struggle was I signed up on my 40th birthday. I gave myself a gift to finally just dive full into day trading, and that was futures. I spent over $20,000 in my trading, education. I mean, I've done it all, mentorships, academies, one-on-ones, conferences, summits, you name it. And the trading rooms, all of that. And one thing I realized was every time I was in a trading room or a conference or whatever, and whenever I would ask basic questions, everybody would kind of be like, well, you should know that already, or they would just kind of go past it really quickly without really explaining to me, because the goal of their system and what they were teaching is for me to follow what they want you to see, and their trade system, their software, all of that, right? So kind of I almost feel like they avoid that. So one thing I realized is that nobody actually just talks about the super basics, and that's like building your house. How can you build a house if you don't have your bricks in place and just start putting in the windows, right? And when after like a couple of years of really struggling, I remember specifically it was like 5.5 years ago. After 2.5 years of trading, I was still losing consistently because I didn't own my trades. I was constantly following someone else's trades. I lost almost $4,000 in 5 minutes because I just didn't get it. It was crazy. And I was laying on the ground, literally completely defeated. My husband was standing over me and he was saying, why are you continuing to do this? And I was like, you don't get it. Like, if you're not into it 100%, you just don't get it. There's something in you. So instead of just like stepping back and taking some time to just gather my thoughts, what did I do? I went for 2 more days of revenge trading. At the end, ended up losing almost $6,000 in total. It was horrible. And then I just stopped. I stopped entirely. But I did peek into the sim mode, but I had to just walk away. It was a really huge loss, not only financially, mentally. I was defeated. And I kept on saying, after this much time of studying, why am I not getting this? And that's kind of like you kind of come to a fork in the road when you have a breakdown. You either give up entirely and just do something else. And let me tell you, the amount of people telling me to do that was way more than people telling me to stay in the game. Or you have a breakthrough. And I kind of had a breakthrough. I realized I never just learned the basics. And once I decided to sit down and focus only on literally reading the market and being trilingual, it's because the market is a language. So being trilingual, I kind of had that understanding of learning a new language, right? When I learned Spanish, everything was a constant translation in my head until one day I woke up and it was just like, oh, I don't have to translate anymore. I get it. I understand. I just talk. And the market is the same. So right now what I want to go into is the basics, which is just reading what the market tells you, right? So that you own the market. You could speak to it and you could listen to it. And trust me, it really talks to us. So let's go into the basics of what the market tells you. All right, so hang on one second here. Okay, market movement and the breakdown of a trend. Interestingly enough, people don't realize that there's 3 very specific trends. You have the uptrend, the downtrend, and then you have the sideways trend. And the sideways trend is really where the majority of the traders end up losing most of their money because they can't read it. Or once they even do see it, what happens is a lot of traders like to predict what's going to happen, right? It's been going up, it's going to break out. So they get into a long when it doesn't. It doesn't have to do anything. Really, all it's doing is just going sideways. So what does that mean? You stay out. You stay out, and we're going to get into that a lot more because that is really where the majority of the traders end up losing a lot of their money. And it's only because they're not respecting what the market has to tell you. Instead of trying to beat the market, just talk to it, listen to it. Anyway, so just a really quick rundown of what a trend is. Obviously, a trending market up is higher pivots and you have higher lows. The same with the trending market down, you have lower pivots and lower lows, right? So, and the trend to us, it really is, it's like a sentence, right? So It's a run and a retracement or a correction, however you want to call it. It's a run, correction, run, correction, run. So if you just see this run, that's not a trend. That's just a one move, right? So the trend talks to us. We have the beginning of the trend, we have the body of the trend, and then we have the end of the trend. And we need to really understand why that happens, because you really don't want to be at the end of the trend getting in when it's about to change direction, right? Because that's where you'll lose the majority of your money. And that's what happens in sideways trends as well. Also, another thing, because I am a scalper, and just a really quick explanation, I'm sure everybody here knows what a scalper is, but it's mainly when you go for really small profits in shorter time frames. So what happens is you have this really big trend going up, let's say, but then for scalping, it's really cool to identify immediate momentums, which are mini trends. And mini trends can be crazy profitable because we're going for small profits, right? So I'm a futures e-mini trader. The way that's broken up is by points. You could go in with contracts, but a point is usually $50, right? So this little grid here, you will see it, me use it all the time. That's 1 point. So it's really fast for me to just know, boom, that's a point. So that's $50. So I go in for 1 point, right? So with immediate momentums, you could easily cash in on 1 point trades, right? So that's really cool. And that's why it's really important to be able to read that and understand when it happens, right? So I'm going to show you a teeny bit more of that as well. So as I mentioned before, a lot of people believe that right here, this particular thing, that's the trend. Just so the trend is a sentence. So it has a run, it has a retracement, it could be weak runs, it could be weak retracements, it could be strong runs, it could be weak runs. The point is that it's continuous, right? And that's what a trend is. And that's where we want to be able to understand. Okay, let me just quickly see. I'm being told that I have questions, but I'm only seeing 2. So am I not seeing all of the questions? I'm sorry. Yeah, because I definitely have seen these already, and then I keep on getting a blinking light for questions. Maybe it's here instead? No? Okay, so yeah, if I would love for you guys to kind of send me some questions just for me to see if my question area is working so I could answer all of your questions. Okay, so let's get back to the most important part of understanding when to stay out of the trades, which is the sideways markets. So sideways markets have several different names. They're consolidation areas, they're transition areas, they're indecision areas. And that's what we really need to understand and really focus on, right? So let's go into consolidation areas. So here we have a pretty strong trend going up, and all of a sudden we start to get this movement. So it's the consolidation area. Transition area, I'll show you what that is in a minute. Or decision, or I actually prefer to say indecision, right? So here we have the pivots are just bouncing back and forth. There is no way you can know what's about to happen, because it could either go up, it could go down, but all we know and all we have to understand is that it's kind of stuck right now, and there's nothing good in this behavior because it goes up and down, right? So just a quick understanding, we retail traders, individual traders, small time traders, we don't have any control of moving the market at all. We just don't. Our accounts are too tiny, right? You have to be either an institution or somebody that's putting in millions of contracts or even hundreds of thousands of contracts to kind of have some move in the market. So we can't be predicting, oh, well, it's been going up for this long, it's going to just retrace, it's got to correct, or it's been going up all day, it's going to go up. No, it doesn't. It's not. We don't know. We don't even care. To be honest with you, we should not care. What we should care is, all right, it's going into this, I'm chilling out. There's 3 very important positions in trading: getting in, knowing when to get out, and knowing when to stay out. Those are 3 very important decisions that we have to make, and positions about where we're at. So what's a transition? Basically, it's a consolidation that transitions into a new trend, right? And we want to know exactly when that's happening so that we can be in on the beginning of that trend. Again, this is another look of what consolidation indecision looks like. Okay, know your areas. Like Gary mentioned, you really need to know your support and resistance areas because they are so important, and they are not a secret. They are, oops. Oh, sorry, I don't know what happened to, that's weird. Okay, sorry, my presentation went a little bonky. Okay, so support. What is a support area? It's a floor. It's the floor. If you have a big trend going on and all of a sudden your areas are being hit right here over and over again on the bottom, that's a support area. Even in a channeling market, like I showed you here, this right here is the support area, right? It's just a floor. So what happens here is that means that this is an area that is being respected. I like to draw these areas out because the market will return to that area over and over again. Doesn't have to be in a minute. It could be in an hour. It could be in 5 hours. It could be the following day. You just need to be cognizant of it and understand that that's an area that's being respected, right? All right, here we go. I'm seeing questions. Great. Time frames. So, Martin, I do not use time frames. I am 100% 610 tick chart. That means there are 610 transactions per bar. It makes it more real time for me because I could be in a 5-minute chart and the volume is super slow, volatility barely going. I won't really feel it as much as seeing the actual transactions. All right, so support area. It's the floor. It's just the floor. Resistance area, it's a ceiling. That's all it is. It's a ceiling, right? And it could either stop the trend or it could break, or you could have a breakthrough in the trend. So we've been going up. I have no idea if it's going to go up or down. Not for me to care either. All I know is that it's respecting this area, and I'm going to kind of take a chill and just see where it goes for me. All right, so here's another example of a resistance area and a support area in a channel. All right, so here we go. Double tops, double bottoms, reversal areas. Oh my God, and divergences. This to me is the most beautiful words that the market could tell me. And this is all spoken on no matter which market you are trading. Every single chart is going to be speaking to you the same. You just have to be able to interpret it for your particular instrument. So why are these my favorite? Because they usually at 90% of probability and potential of telling me what's going to happen with the market. So what does a double bottom look like? Right here, right? Even here, this is a little triple bottom. And then we have divergence. So just a quick understanding for you guys of my indicators. So I have EMA period lines. I use 3 because I only work with one chart, so I put them all here. My red EMA is my most important one. It's the 52 period EMA. And my other most favorite, and I cannot live with that indicator, are the MACDs. I find them to be the most real time. A lot of indicators kind of lag. So I prefer them the most because when I'm starting to see divergences, which is happening in real time, that's when I'm starting to understand that something is about to change. What? It's not for me to figure out. I'm just going to wait and see what's going to happen. And then when I see such strength going past the 0 line and tiny little retracements while it's a little bit retracing here, I know that something's about that is a good trade, or that's a good place for me to start to really focus on. Here we go. Divergence. We have double tops that turn, triple tops that turn into, triple bottoms, double bottoms, triple bottoms, and massive divergence, reversal areas. They are, like I said, probably even more than 90% potential of it either changing direction or taking a massive slowdown. And I really pay attention to it. I'm very conservative with my trades, super conservative. So I really enjoy just listening to what the market tells me so that I can get in on those higher probability trades after this information has been given to me. Head and Shoulders. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge Head and Shoulders fan, but I know that a lot of people like them. So I like to explain what they look like because a lot of people don't fully grasp what it looks like. So it's a shoulder and a head and a shoulder. It's literally like our bodies, right? So you want to be looking at it. If you're headed down, you're kind of standing on your head. And if you're going up, you're kind of standing straight. Because a lot of times people, I notice when it's going down, people will start to look here, and that's not the Head and Shoulders. The reversal pattern is down below because we're headed below, right? Here, it's been a mini tiny trend. So here's a mini up Head and Shoulders telling me that it's about to change. It's not really pushing through. Okay, so breakout areas. This is a really important, beautiful thing to understand because these are usually very high probability trades and areas that you have to understand. And again, this is all universal. This is all 100% free. You do not need to buy any software. All you need is a charting platform. And to be honest with you, if you're not using a charting platform, you should not be day trading. It's kind of like an artist that isn't drawing on a canvas. Well, where is he drawing, right? Or canvas doesn't mean just, something, canvas, it could be a mural, it could be a sculpture, but if they don't have anything to work with, they're not really working, they're not really an artist. So a day trader cannot work without a trading platform. I personally use NinjaTrader, but there's hundreds, there's Thinkorswim, which is also really good. There's, I think, Chart Trade Station. So there's many different ones, right? And again, all of this is free. All of these are completely universal indicators that you could all get for free with your charting platforms, right? And resistance areas are just kind of, you just have to see where they're at. So here we have a beautiful resistance area. We have a massive pop. This is telling me that the market has decided to go up in that direction. A lot of times it's not a super high. You don't know how long it's going to go, but it's certainly enough to give us that punch for us to get in on a quick one profit move, right? And that's really where it's at, especially if you're scalping. All right, I'll get to you guys' questions in just a bit. Let me just kind of start to put it all together so that you can see how I use all this language. And again, it's not that many words that we have to really learn, right? Reversal areas, support resistance areas, sideways market, consolidation areas, divergences. There's not a gazillion. And let me tell you, just that alone, if you start to really understand that alone, you will be surprised how much your trading will change and improve. Okay, so just a quick little timeout. I just want to show you how I trade. I literally have one laptop, one chart, because otherwise I get too much anxiety and stress if I use too many. And with futures is great. You don't need to, especially with the E-mini, one chart really seems to work it really well. I've simplified my life a lot by reducing the indicators. Before my breakdown, I had like 10 indicators going on. I was constantly being told by my mentors and these teachers that you got to go for the big profits, 3, 4, 5 points. But when you're going for those kind of movements, your risk is really high, and it also keeps you in the market a lot longer. So I was just really stressed out. I was not enjoying my trading, and this is what my chart looks like. My MACDs, absolutely love my MACDs. Universally, get them on any single platform, free platforms just as well. I think even Google gives you MACDs at this point. And the EMA lines, again, it's the exponential moving average. I use 3, and because of the 3 different time frames, like I said, I work with 6-10 tick charts. So the red line, that is my main one. This purple one, it is my 233 tick chart, which I just put in the exponential moving average, my EMA to this. And the yellow one is from a 1597 tick chart. That means the bars normally have 1597 transactions happening at one time, right? So before I go into this, let me just answer some of your questions. Okay, so Hartley, do you use higher tick charts or just, okay, so I just use the 610 chart, but I use those 3 EMAs for the 233 and the 1597 as well. EMAs, Carol, are exponential moving averages. So I use the 52 period, which is, I personally think is it's the 52 week period for the year, but obviously it's not just the year, is 52 weeks in total. Okay, so Carol, tick charts are transaction charts. That's what makes it so great. So Martin, go on any charting platform and you have a universal MACDs, I guess, setting, and that's the ones I use. And I just use one part of it, which is this line here, because there are usually like 2 or 3 that come out. And this is the one that I prefer, just the most basic one of all. All right, so before I get into more of my setups, I guess you could say, is what is emotional capital? Like, do you remember when I mentioned that when I ended up losing $6,000 almost within a couple of days, I lost more mentally and emotionally than financially. We could always make that money back, right? Obviously, it takes long, and $6,000 is a hell of a lot of money, and I get that entirely, but you can earn that back. But what was really hard for me to gain back was my emotional state of mind, my emotional capital. I was in the negatives, right? What is emotional capital? I'll give you an example. You're sitting there and you don't have 100% trading system, so there alone you're already in doubt. Oh my God, that was such a bad move. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. How could I have just taken that trade? Oh my God, why didn't I get out when I could have? Why am I so greedy? Why didn't I just go for that particular target zone and get out? No, I had to. You start to beat yourself up. That's what emotional capital is. You start to beat yourself up and you start to drain your confidence. And it's not only when you're sitting in front of those charts, right? So what happened to me was I'm doing this, I'm beating myself up, I'm really talking badly to myself. Like if I spoke to my kids that way, I would probably have my kids taken away. Like it's just cruel. So, but I did. So after my charts were closed and I've had a crappy day because I was just beating myself up, I didn't have a system I trusted 100%. I was too much focused on what I was supposed to be doing because of the other people teaching me their trade setups that I didn't fully understand what was happening. So what was happening? I was just beating myself up. I turned my charts off. I started to be mean to my kids. I wasn't nice to my spouse. All these things started to add up, and that's what it was taken away from me. For me, who I was, and my emotional capital was becoming really drained, and I was just not a nice person. So I discovered scalping. Let me just quickly look through what you guys have wrote here. You know what? I'll respond to your questions in a teeny bit. All right. So I discovered scalping after my breakdown, and after I sat now for months getting back to the basics and just fully understanding the basics, reversal patterns, divergences. They started to make so much sense to me. Understanding when the shift began in a new trade or when there was a breakout, those little things. And then I started to try something different. First of all, after my breakdown, I removed 90% of my indicators. They were stressing me out so much I could not breathe almost. I was just too focused. Oh my God, but I have to get to this one. I used Bollinger Bands and the Kettler Bands, and I was trying to go for the targets there, and the targets usually were like 4 or 5 points. I removed them. Just the removing of those, I cannot even tell you the amount of weight off of my shoulders, right? So what did I start to do? I started to go for smaller profits. I recognized that with the trades that I was starting to see after I figured out the basics and understanding what the language was telling me, the market was telling me, that the majority of the times, if I just went in for one point, it would hit that point almost 90% of the time. So instead of going for like the 4 points and putting 2-point or 3-point risk, oh my God, it was such a huge amount of money every time. I started to just do 1-to-1. I started to go for 1 point, win, 1 point loss. So I was okay with the $50. But at this point, I was already going for the 1 point profits, and they were hitting 90%. So I started to be like, every time that small profit was hit, it wasn't anything about the profit. It was about me trusting myself and being like, wait, okay, I'm getting it. Okay, wait, my system is working. Okay, I started to trust myself. I started to believe in my trades. I started to believe in who I was as a trader. And after that, leaving the trading day and still being a happier person and just being in a completely different state of mind, right? And that's when it started. And on top of that, majority of these trades lasted between 3 to 15 minutes. It was incredible. So my stress was awesome. Barely any retracements. I mean, it just really simplified my life and truly just made it easier for me. And what's great about futures is that for 1 point, I could still keep my 1 point and just put more contracts in. So I'm still in and out fast, but now I have a bigger contract load so I can make more money. And that's really what started to happen to me. All right, so let's talk quickly about the breakout trade setup. All right, so as I mentioned before, this is one of my absolute favorite. So you have this resistance area. It could be the same for the support, by the way. And you're moving in the same direction, and it finally breaks out, and you have this entry. Again, resistance area could be a channel, and it breaks out. That means that there is a lot of interest. And look at this push in the MACDs. Boom. Here's the channel. Boom. Look at that. I'm in. Okay? So this is what a breakout trade looks like. You're going in the same direction. You have a massive resistance area or support area. It's the same. Boom. You get in. All right. So this is one of the best trades that I have found for sure. And I have several that I really follow, and I use them like an ingredient thing. Like a recipe. I have checkpoints. Let me just quickly go over your questions. Okay, Deepak, yes, so the e-minis are fantastic. You could start with $500. If now with the micro minis, you could start with like, I don't know, like $50. It's crazy, it's so amazing. And with the e-minis, which is this, which is $50 a point, you could start with $500. So yeah, it's awesome. Actually, okay, so yeah, and go for the micro mini. It's $5 a point now. I definitely recommend it, but make sure that you have a system. Do not go live. George, for futures, Ninja Trader is a great, first of all, platform, but they also work with really good, very reputable brokers that permit you to trade with that. Okay, Carol, I only 610 tick chart. So let me respond to that here for you so that you could see what I mean. How do I send it? Oh, here we go. Okay, so let me get into a little bit more. I would love to review your charts because I'm sure a lot of you are battling with so many questions and that you do not have anybody who can help you analyze your charts. So please send me your charts. I will be more than happy to help you and for you to see how I read the markets. Send them to me, thetraderchick@gmail.com. All right, send me your charts. So let me have a look at them. And this way I can help you figure out also where you're going wrong. This is a bonus, completely free. Please send me your charts. I would love to help you. Thetraderchick@gmail.com. Or you could go to my website, thetraderchick.com, and go through the contacts. I have another quick bonus trade setup for you. I call this the initial reaction trade setup. So the biggest moves are new trends. You always want to be in the beginning of a new trend. The breakout trade is similar, right? It's kind of like the beginning of something new, but the new trends is the best. That means, look at this. You have this resistance area and it broke through. And look at this movement here with the MACDs, barely a new retracement. These are the initial reaction, instant reaction trades. You have this here and boom, it's a new trend. Barely a new retracement, humongous area between the MACDs. Same here. Look at that. These are probably your highest probability trades on top of the breakouts. Okay? You don't need to have a resistance area. You could just have a reversal area with massive divergence. Boom, you fly through MACDs, barely any retracement. Okay? This is one of my other absolute favorite trades that I take up. Just a quick moment. If you guys are in Dallas or can come to the Money Show, it's completely free. I am going to be one of the presenters there, and then I could chat with you in person. I absolutely love talking to people. So you could just go here. It's free to register, but they do have a limited amount of space. So just go here, thetraderchick.dallasmoneyshow.com. Check it out. They've been doing this for years. They have like over 50 awesome presenters, all free. So this is just a quick note. I'm going to be there in Dallas October 13th and 14th. All right, so let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's really understand what is your struggle. All right, let me just see here. Hang on a second. All right, I'm going to get to your questions in a teeny bit. Let's talk about what is your struggle. Do you guys struggle with a trading strategy and plan? Or even worse, not having one? I know that I struggled with that for years, okay, until I had a super solid, close my eyes, I know exactly what my trading strategy and plan is at this point. Now, having a trading plan and a strategy is literally the difference between a consistently profitable trader and someone who is barely breaking even or mainly having losses. Okay, this is crucial. I'm telling you, having a trading strategy and plan will change your life. It will, and you cannot just wing it. It's not possible to wing it. A doctor would not ever walk into an operating room just winging it. They know exactly what they are looking for. If they already have a diagnosis, they know exactly what their plan is to help have a solution for that, right, to resolve it. Day traders are no different. It's our money on the line. Why are you guys just entering the market without a plan? Not you personally, but I cannot even tell you the amount of people I know and contact me who just are winging it in the live market and are constantly losing and donating the money to the market. It's a very strong thing that I really, really want to prevent you guys from doing. You need a plan. For everything in our lives, there has to be a plan. And for trading, especially, it's our money on the line. It's our hard-earned money, right? So which one are you? Are you guys profitable and consistent? Do you have that trading plan? Or are you just winging it and praying for the best? You'll be surprised. 95% of the people that call themselves traders and fail are in number 2 zone, because they are literally just winging it and praying for the best. And that is really sad, because it's your money. It's your money. All right, so I'm not going to get into my boot camp, which I want to talk about, but first I want to answer all the questions that I have here. All right, so Martine, yes, I use the standard settings for my MACDs. Paul, my 3 EMA numbers, 20, 52 is my main one, and 135. Okay. Deepak, I think I responded to you about that one already. Yes. Small trade leads to a lot of... No, George, I do 1 to 3 trades per day. I'm incredibly conservative. I do not get greedy. I go in with a higher lot. I don't need that much. Why do you need to go 100 times? But don't get me wrong, George. I have been trigger happy when I was taking 20, 30 trades and losing more on the commissions. You're absolutely right. However, now I'm down to 1 to 3 trades in an hour and a half, 2 hours. I could get that and I'm good. Depending on the type of trade, I could go in with a little bit of a higher lot. If it's more aggressive, I go in with a lower lot. All right. I think 610 is good for ES, but for grain, I don't know grain, and I definitely don't know crude and gold. And honestly, Paul, I will recommend something really, really, really strongly. Stick to one instrument until you have mastered it. If you have too many, there are too many strategies, and you will end up really not knowing the right way to do it and not understanding. Okay, Glenn, 4 lines. So I like to put in those lines because 0.3 or negative 0.3 for MACDs, I know that there's massive strength. And if it's over 0.4 or negative 0.4, massive strength either going up or down, I know that I am golden. Jordan, I'm going to be in the October Dallas, which is from the 13th and the 14th, and I honestly don't know if they have a live stream, so I will find out though. Please write me at thetraderchick@gmail.com, and I will find out that information for you. Okay, all right, so let's talk about my boot camp. This is where I teach you guys the basics to learn how to read the markets and the trading charts under any condition, so you are prepared for every condition of the market. And it has different conditions, so we need to be prepared to be able to work with any of them, right? All right, just 1 second here. Sorry about that. I just opened the wrong thing for me in the back end. Okay, so when you have a plan, you can trust. It does not matter what the market is doing because you are prepared, and it's all about being prepared. Have you ever been to an exam when you never studied and you are stressing and just, sweating, and then when you have actually studied and are fully prepared, how much more at ease you are? It's the same with the markets. Just be prepared. It's not complicated. It's actually really simple once you learn. It's not easy, but it's definitely simple, right? So today, only for you guys, I have a special deal. I normally sell my boot camp for $197, but today only, and for you guys, it's at $98. It's 50% off. $98. But on top of that, You get me for one entire month working with you on your charts, one-on-one, personalized feedback. You cannot go wrong with that. It's 98 bucks and you will learn how to fully understand what the market is telling you. Really understand it. So let's go here right now together. thetraderchick.com/bootcamp. thetraderchick.com/bootcamp. And just go for it, man. $98 and I get to work with you guys for one entire month. You get to analyze your charts. And again, remember when I asked you to send me your charts from before? Totally free. Please send them over to me. You do not have to participate in the bootcamp. But if you want to really learn with me and read the markets, then I can help you with applying that as well. Okay, $98 and you will learn how to read what the market is telling you. And this is for any market, okay? So what does the bootcamp cover? You'll get everything you need to know. Setting up your charts, because I know a lot of people aren't even working with the charts because they're terrified of how to set it up. I cut that all out for you. I help you with setting them up for Thinkorswim and NinjaTrader, but if you already have another charting platform, awesome. We understand trending markets, momentums, reading the market shifts, the consolidation areas, the reversal areas, divergences, breakouts, okay? Over 10 hours of training, lifetime curriculum access. You go at your own pace, but it's the one-on-one support. 1 month for 98 bucks, you get all of that. You cannot go wrong. And these are some of what my students tell me here. So you guys could read along just to kind of get an idea of what I've offered. And I have students all over the world. And yeah, this for $98, you really cannot go wrong. So here's some more testimonials. All right, so again, lifetime access. You get everything here. You go right here, the Trader Chick at Bootcamp. I'm sorry, thetraderchick.com/bootcamp. Now, I want to answer some of your questions. Lift the veil about Maurice, about a trading plan. Okay, Maurice, I have a very specific trading plan. For instance, I know exactly what I am looking for with each trade setup. I do not just go in because all of a sudden there is, a spurt up or a spurt down. No. So my red line, my red EMA line, it's like an archer. An archer would never start shooting an arrow from anywhere to hit the bullseye. They have a very specific place. That's my EMA line. I have a very specific trading plan and that I completely trust 100%. I'm not stressed about getting into trades because if it's a valid trade and it failed, sometimes that happens. For me, it's around 10%, maybe 5% because I am super conservative. I still believe, and my emotional capital doesn't get drained because it was a valid trade. It just didn't work. But usually they work. So I go for the smaller ones. Okay. What do you consider the best times to trade? Paul, I love the morning session or the afternoon session. 9:30 to around 11:30. Then there's lunch, super slow, massive indecision. And then again from 1 to about 3:30. Those are the times for the E-mini especially that I like to be in the market. Okay, Paul, you've lost 8 times in a row. Okay, Paul, send me your charts. thetraderchick@gmail.com. I'll take a look at them. You should not be in the live market. Please get into the sim market, more so into the sim demo mode right now because of your mental state. I'm sure you're feeling really low and that totally makes sense. So you will not be, you're probably too emotionally charged when you are entering trades. So please do that. Hi, Mel. Oh, super. Yes, I know. I can't wait for you to start with me. Thanks. I'm looking forward to it. All right, Glenn, when your divergence between MACDs and price indicates a trend change with the MACD lines, 0.4, when the trend change does not happen. The trend will definitely happen unless you are in a very significant sideways market, and that you have to be prepared to know when there's a support and resistance. But Glenn, overall, normally when it's such a strong move and you're already seeing the trend moving and you're not in sideways market, trust me, that works. Okay, I don't have tick charts. It doesn't matter, Joe. I work with all markets. At the moment, this is not for trade setups. The bootcamp, it's about reading the market. And for Forex, I have tons of Forex students. They just all of a sudden started to realize the reversal patterns and a lot of people don't even know what a support and resistance is, and that is so, so, so important, okay? Paul, yes, you made 10 grand. How many contracts did you have in there? When you're starting to win that high in Simo, that's because your contract load, I guess, if I don't know if you're trading in E-minis, but usually you have a high contract load. Are you prepared to go with that high contract load into the live market? That's where it's really going to change everything for you. If you only go in with 1 point, chances are you're not going to be winning 10K. Trust me on that one. But you can win $100 a day. Wow, I mean, that's pretty cool considering the majority of people are barely breaking even and losing until you get your momentum, until you get your trade system in order, right? Okay, so you got $10,000, so you must be going in a gazillion trades. Now minus $4 to $8 commission. See how much you're actually bringing in, okay? So this all has to be put in. Sim mode is very great to trade in and learn good habits, but it could also kind of spook you, okay? Do we get to trade with you in the boot camp? John, the boot camp is 100% about reading the market and what it does with you. I teach a futures e-mini course as well, and that's where you could trade with me. That is also 50% off. So let me know if you want to talk about that. Let me know. You could go into thetraderchick.com into contact or thetraderchick@gmail.com. I also am offering that as well. Okay, so this is where you guys could contact me, obviously thetraderchick.com, and then I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and you can email me at thetraderchick@gmail.com. And I really, really enjoyed being here with you guys. Thank you so much. I hope that I get to work with you. I'm always around for all my students, constantly on email, WhatsApp, to chat, and the best thing is the one-on-one. So $98, go right now, right here to thetraderchick.com at Bootcamp and sign up. And I look forward to you all. And thank you so much for being here with me on your Saturday afternoon. And I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks and bye. Thank you so much for having me here. Bye, Teddy. Bye, everybody. Thank you.